Hey there. I've been thinking a lot about disenfranchised grief this week. I work at a university and we've had a couple student losses in a really short amount of time this semester. And it's not unusual for a large university to have student loss, but um, for it to happen so close together and it to be kind of more public is rough. And so I'm thinking about disenfranchised grief. And if you're not familiar with this concept, it is grief when you lose someone or a loved one or a thing or a relationship or a status that is not publicly acknowledged, socially accepted, or openly mourned. And basically, a short version of it is things that are not covered by a bereavement policy at work. And like for myself, I get 5 days of paid leave for any significantly close relative that I lose. But what happens if I lose a friend or a colleague? Or what I've been thinking about is students. What if they lost one of their classmates or their roommates who also happen to be their friend? What happens when their professor goes? And I talk about this in my TED Talk, which is called Death, Grief, and the College Student, if you want to look it up. But I also think about this in regards to relationships and, changes in status for people. Like, people don't get to take bereavement for the end of a marriage or the end of a significant relationship. You don't get to take time off if your fur baby dies, Like, there's all these different kinds of grief that aren't acknowledged. Or when an artist who you really love passes away, someone who meant a whole lot to you, you don't get to like call your boss and be like, "Oh, sorry, I can't come in today," right? Um, but it's already hard to grieve in our culture, and by our culture, I mean American culture, because we don't do well with death or loss or any kind of grief. And it becomes even harder when um, the thing you're grieving doesn't make sense to other people, or they think you should be over it by now. And I've definitely got family and friends going through their seasons of grief right now. And so it's just something I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my students. I'm thinking about the students I don't even know who are dealing with it. I'm thinking about all the people who are grieving different things that we don't fully understand or acknowledge in our culture. And for those folks, I just hope you're met with kindness and space. And if you want to read more about disenfranchised grief, it is a concept that was coined by Kenneth Doka, Doka. And, it's a really fascinating concept, and it's one that I've studied a lot in my death and dying academic work. And I just wanted folks to know that if you're dealing with it, that you're seen.